Fish and chips. It's a family favourite, but sometimes with all that deep frying, it can make us feel a little bit heavy. Well, I'm going to show you how you can make a healthy fish and chip recipe today using Australia's best produce. Now, before I get into this simple and delicious recipe, I went to the farm and I caught up with Kerry-Anne Lamb, and she taught me all about how she grows these delicious vegetables.
Hi Gemma, we're here today in Killarney, Queensland at our potato packing shed, and I'm just inspecting some produce that's come from our farm in Gatton. We're looking at our Sebago potatoes here today. We grow potatoes, onions and pumpkins. We used to grow sweet potatoes, but we actually source those sweet potatoes from our old farm in Bundaberg. We're actually a fourth generation farming family. My grandfather, my father and his brother started growing potatoes up in the mountains in Killarney probably about 50 to 60 years ago. This is my family business and it's continued on, and now I have my nieces and nephews working in the business as well. We started as mixed farming and eventually moved into cropping potatoes. We were supplying supermarkets, and then we've moved on to value-adding potatoes as well. These potatoes are about 18 weeks from start to finish. A little bit longer if we want to talk about the prep of the soil and things like that, but harvesting is actually very quick. Potatoes sometimes get a really bad rap, but actually potatoes are a whole food and they're a very complex carbohydrate, which means they have lots of vitamins, minerals and fibre.
Well, I'm so inspired after chatting to Kerry-Anne Lamb. What an incredible journey she's had. So I'm going to start off by making our homemade chips. Now I've got some fresh Aussie potatoes and some fresh sweet potatoes. I'm using both because both are just as good as each other, and I want to have a lot of nice colour on the plate. So I'm going to start off by just chopping up these potatoes. Now I'm also using pigmented potatoes today. So I've got this one, which is beautiful and purple, full of anthocyanins, which are antioxidants. And pigmented potatoes are just so nutritious, but really all potatoes are nutritious. So a range of colours is what you want as part of a healthy diet. The other thing I'm doing is I'm keeping the peel on. Don't waste your time by peeling them all. Just wash them under tap water and then they're good to go. I'm also keeping the skin of the sweet potato on because that has a lot of fibre in there, and we want to keep all that fibre in for all that goodness. These guys are going into the oven, 200 degrees for 30 minutes. Now I'm going to prepare our healthy salad to go with the fish and chips. And my rule of thumb is whenever we're serving up fish and chips, you've always got to have a few little greens there on the plate. And this is not just any greens, we've got delicious rocket and some beautiful creamy avocado. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some rocket, place it in a bowl, a couple of cups of rocket. If you've got a big family, use a lot more. Lovely and fresh, and rocket's got a little peppery note, which I really like. So I'm going to add some fresh Australian avocados to this salad. All right, the fun begins, the fish. Okay, so I'm going to turn my pan on So we're just going to heat that up and we'll throw the oil in. And while I wait for that to heat up, I'm just going to pat the fish down with some paper towel, and this is going to reduce the moisture around the fish so that when it hits that pan, it goes super crispy. So I'm using Australian extra virgin olive oil today, just a little bit. And the good news is the high levels of antioxidants in the fresh olive oil means you can heat the oil to higher temperatures.
My favourite way to eat a potato is to have it sliced and to have it cooked in a potato bake with lots of onion, bacon and cheese. Consumers in Australia may not realise that we're very lucky because all of our fresh potatoes in Australia are 100% grown in Australia. Because of our quarantine restrictions, we can't import fresh potatoes. We are very lucky here where we have different climates and we have new season potatoes 12 months of the year. So Hort Innovation has really helped by providing networks and opportunity to travel, to connect with a professional network of other people in the same industry. Enjoy the fish and chips, and I wish I was there today to taste some of those fantastic potatoes with you today.
Wasn't that amazing? So we're going to cook this fish for a couple of minutes until it goes crispy and golden on that skin side first, and then we'll flip it over and do the other side. Now, if you're like me and you like your salmon a little bit pink and soft in the middle, then just keep an eye on it because you don't want to cook it for too long, otherwise it will go super hard and solid. Now, some people I know, like my mum, she loves her fish cooked all the way through. So in that case, just keep it on the pan a little bit longer. Well, our fish is crisp, and what goes better with fish than a little bit of lemon? Now I'm going to show you something a little bit fancy that I learned from my mate Toby Puttock, who's the ambassador here at the Prahran Market. So I've just sliced that lemon in half, and I'm just going to, ooh, there we go. Careful that oil doesn't splash at you. So that lemon, I'm just going to sizzle that away in that pan that I've just cooked the salmon in. And that's going to take some of those flavours and go all nice and charred. And then just wait until we serve it up. It's something a little bit fancy. All right, my chips have come straight from the oven. They're not deep fried, they're baked, so they're super healthy and good for you. And look at that colour. We've got some orange, some whites and some purples, and even a bulb of garlic there. Great cold and flu fighter. So I'm going to plate up my meal now, and I'm going to start off with our greens. Greens always come first. I'm just going to rustically put this on the plate. Plenty of greens. Now I'm going to just put a bit more rosemary over my chips. And I tell you what, I wish you could smell this right now. This rosemary in the oven with potatoes and sweet potatoes, match made in heaven. Let's put some chips on the plate. And remember, we want regular potatoes and sweet potatoes. And the good thing about potatoes is they've got this vitamin called vitamin B6, which is good for our mood. It makes us happy and feel alive. And sweet potatoes have vitamin A and C, which helps for really beautiful glowing skin. So you want both of them to get all the benefits. All right, and now for our fish. Straight on the plate with our lemon, nicely charred. So here is my healthy fish and chips. Grilled salmon with beautiful sweet potatoes and a lovely rocket salad. Your family is going to love this, and I'm going to love it just as much. If you want to find out more information about Aussie potatoes and also Aussie sweet potatoes, head to the Hort Innovation website, horticulture.com.au, for all the information you need. And make plenty of these, because I tell you what, your friends are going to love them.